Dear students, in the previous class we discussed about the states of matter. What is meant by matter and states of matter we are discussed in the previous class. Previous classes ನಾವು ಡಿಸ್ಕಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದು states of matter, that is solids, liquids ಮತ್ತೆ gases ನ ಸ್ಟಡಿ ಮಾಡಿದ್ವಿ. In this class we are going to be discussing about the classification of matter. That classification of matter, that the matter is going to be classified into two types. Mainly we are going to be classified into two types. That is the classification of matter. In this class we are going to discuss about the classification of matter. Yeah, the matter is going to be classified into two types. The first one we call as a mixtures. Then the second one we call as a pure substances. Pure substances. Yeah, the matter classified into two types, that is the mixtures and the pure substances. Then what do you mean by mixture? Mixture means what the substances we see, what the substance around us, almost all in the form of mixtures. Example for the mixtures is air. Air is a mixture of so many gases. ಅಂದರೆ ನಾವು ಏರ್ ತಗೋಬಹುದು ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಮಿಕ್ಸರ್ಗೆ. ಮತ್ತು ಅದೇ ಥರ ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಟೇಕ್ ದ ವಾಟರ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಮಿಕ್ಸರ್ ಆಫ್ ಸಮ್ ಕಾಂಪೋನೆಂಟ್ಸ್. ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ದ ವಾಟರ್ ಈಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ಗೆಟಿಂಗ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಪ್ಯೂರ್ ಫಾರ್ಮ್. That is dissolved some minerals. The water is going to be dissolved in some minerals. That is, if you have salt solution, sugar solution, means these are all example for the tea, coffee, what we drink every morning. That is the mixture, that milk. This is all example for the mixtures. Mixtures ಅಂದ್ರೆ then the ಏನೇ ಸಬ್ಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸಸ್, ಏನೆಲ್ಲ ಸಬ್ಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸಸ್ ನಾವು ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತೀವಿ ದಿನದಲ್ಲಿ, ಆಲ್ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ ಆಲ್ ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗಿರುತ್ತೆ ಅಂದರೆ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ತುಂಬಾನೇ ಮಿಕ್ಸ್ಚರ್ಸ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. Only in the few cases we are going to be find the pure substances. ಮ್ಯಾಟರ್ನ ನಾವು ಟೂ ಟೈಪ್ಸ್ ಆಗಿ ಕ್ಲಾಸಿಫೈ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀವಿ. ಒಂದು ಯಾವುದಂದರೆ ಮಿಕ್ಸ್ಚರ್, ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಪ್ಯೂರ್ ಸಬ್ಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸಸ್. ನಾವು ದಿನ ನೋಡೋ ಸಬ್ಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಆಲ್ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ most of the substances are mixtures. Only few substances are pure substances. That is a mixture. I said that it is a so many substances we see in our daily life. It is a mixture. Example, air, then sugar solution, salt solution, and some other your tea, coffee. This is not example for the mixtures. Then if you are going to be this then if you are going to be define the mixture, what is mean by mixture? Mixture na define ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ mixture contains two or more substances in any ratio, that we call as a mixtures. Mixtures means mixture contains the particles of two or more substances. Mixture contains the particles of two or more substances, that we call as a mixtures. This mixtures, I said, example for the mixture is air, best example. Then soil is also example for mixture. Then sugar solution, salt solution, these are all example for that the mixtures. Then next, the mixtures again we are going to be classified into two types. The mixtures again we are going to be classified into two types. The first one we call as a homogeneous mixture. Homogeneous mixtures. Then second one we call as a heterogeneous mixtures. Then suppose homogeneous, I'll take one glass of water. One glass alli water ತಗೊಳ್ತೀನಿ. I'll add 2 spoons of salt for that. 2 spoons of salt I am going to be added to the water. Then I am going to be stir that. Do you will find the salt in that? No, we cannot see. Means it forms a single phase. It forms a single phase. Means we cannot find. ಅಂದರೆ ನಾವು ನಮ್ಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗೋದೇ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಸಾಲ್ಟ್ ಇದೆ ಅನ್ನೋದು. ಅಂದರೆ ಇಟ್ ಕೆನಾಟ್ ಬಿ ಸೀನ್, ನಮ್ಗೆ ನೋಡೋಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ ಸಾಲ್ಟ್ ಇದೆ ಅನ್ನೋದು. ಅಂತಹ ಸಿಂಗಲ್ ಫೇಸ್ ಫಾರ್ಮ್ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ, ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಸಿಂಗಲ್ ಫೇಸ್ ಫಾರ್ಮ್ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಅದನ್ನು ನಾವು ಏನಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ ಅಂದರೆ ದಟ್ ವಿ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಆಸ್ ಎ ಹೋಮೋಜಿನಿಯಸ್ ಮಿಕ್ಸ್ಚರ್. Homogeneous mixture means a mixture which are in single phase. The mixture which are in the single phase, that we called as a homogeneous mixture. Example for the homogeneous mixture, you can give the example for the homogeneous mixture, that is salt solution, sugar solution. These are all example for the homogeneous mixture. Means we cannot be find another the components present in that. Only single phase is going to be formed. Then mixture of that is water and milk. Either we can find the water in that? No, we cannot find. Means that we call it as a homogeneous mixture. Means the mixtures which forms only single phase, which are having single phase, that we call it as a homogeneous mixture. The heterogeneous mixture means it is a mixture which are having the two or more phases, that we call as a heterogeneous mixture. Example for the heterogeneous mixture, that is soil in water. The soil in water, we can find the soil particles in the water, is it not? Like that. Then some other example for the heterogeneous mixture means, if suppose the rice and the mixture of rice and small mud particles, then you can find that the mixture of some two types of grains, that also you can differentiate. The means it forms a two phases. We can see, ಅಂದರೆ ನಾವು ನೋಡೋಕ್ಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಟೂ ಕಾಂಪೋನೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ ಅಥವಾ ಎರಡಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಕಾಂಪೋನೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ ಅನ್ನೋದನ್ನು ಫೈಂಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಲ್ವ, ಅಂಥ ಮಿಕ್ಸ್ಚರ್ನ ನಾವು ಏನಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ ಅಂದರೆ ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಆಸ್ ಎ heterogeneous mixture. The heterogeneous mixture means which is having two or more phases. A mixture which is having the two or more phases, we call it as a heterogeneous mixture. It's called as a heterogeneous mixture. Like this only, this is about the mixtures. As I said, what is meant by mixture? The mixture is the particles in the mixtures are uniformly distributed, but it retains its original properties. That we call as a mixture. If you have taken the mixture, the ತಕ್ಷಣ ನಿಮಗೆ ಅಂಗಡಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಸಿಗುತ್ತಲ್ವಾ ಆ ಮಿಕ್ಸರ್ ಅನ್ಕೋಬೇಡಿ. ಆ ಮಿಕ್ಸರ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ that also example for the mixture. You can find that contains some groundnuts, some other some leaves. It's contains some leaves like that. It is a mixture of two or more components. That we call example that about mixtures. Next, we are going to be discussing about the pure substances. What is meant by pure substances? Have a fixed composition of the constituent particle. The substances which are having a fixed composition, that are having the fixed composition of the constituent particles. That we call as a pure substances. Pure substance means that is the substances which are having the fixed composition, that is a fixed composition of constituent particles, that we call as a pure substances. Example for the pure substances, if you are going to take on the water, sodium chloride, then copper, iron, aluminum, like this example for the pure substances. And then again the pure substances we are going to be classified into two types. That is the pure substances again classified in two types. The one we call as a elements. One we called as a elements. Another one we called as a compounds. Here the pure substances we are classified into two types. One we call as a elements. Another one we call as a compounds. Then elements andre enu pure. You know, the elements is one of the pure substances which is having the only one kind of atoms or particles that we call atoms or molecules that we call as a pure. That is called as a elements. That is in the you can iron copper. Copper means only it contains the copper atoms. Only it contains the copper atom. Iron means only it contains the iron atoms. If suppose if you are going to be taken that aluminium means that also contains the aluminium atoms. Gold, silver. These are all example for that the elements. That are example for the elements. Then I said that elements means the particles of the elements consisting only one type of, that is one type of atoms, only one type of atoms. Example for this elements we can take that. Example for this we can be taken that is Au gold, Ag silver, then copper, then iron, like that, etc. These are all examples for the elements. Means it contains only one kind of atoms. Only one kind of atoms that we call as elements. Then next comes to that compounds. Compounds. Yeah, the compounds are formed by. The compounds are formed by when two or more elements combine in a, that is the definite ratio. Compounds are formed by when two or more elements, that is two or more elements combine in a definite ratio. In a definite ratio that we called as a compounds. That we called as a compounds. Example for the compounds, if you are going to be taken, the example for compound is sodium chloride. Best example, another best example is water. Means the sodium and chlorine, two types of elements. This is having the one ratio, that is 1:1 ratio, definite ratio. Definite ratio. If you are going to take the example water, that is H2O. This is the hydrogen and the oxygen. This are having the definite ratio 2:1. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ ಅಂದರೆ ಕಾಂಪೌಂಡ್ಸ್ ಯಾವ ಥರ ಫಾರ್ಮ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂದರೆ ಕಂಬೈನ್ ಆಗಿ ಯಾವುದು 2 or more ಎಲಿಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್, 2 ಅಥವಾ 2ಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಎಲಿಮೆಂಟ್ಸು ಕಂಬೈನ್ ಆಗಿ ಡೆಫಿನೆಟ್ ರೇಷಿಯೋಲಿ ಕಂಬೈನ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಅದು ನೆನಪಲ್ಲಿ ಇಟ್ಕೋಬೇಕು. These are combined in a definite ratio. These are combined in a definite ratio that we call as a compound. That we call as a compound. Example for this is sodium chloride, water, and calcium carbonate, CaCO3. Here it contains the 3 elements. Which one? The calcium, carbon, oxygen. This is the ratio 1:1, 3. Like this. Means 2 or more. In this you can find the 2 types of elements. In this also 2 types of elements. But in this you will find the 3 types of elements. Means 2 or more elements combined in a definite ratio is called as a compounds. It's called as a compounds. This about the classification of matter. Once again we will recall this. That is the matter means the matter, anything which occupies space and have mass we call as a matter. The matter is going to be classified into 2 types, that is the mixtures and the pure substances. That is the mixture contains the particles of 2 or more substances. Mixture contains the particles of 2 or more substances that we call as mixtures. Example for mixture is salt solution, sugar solution, tea, coffee. These are all example for that. The mixtures again classified in 2 types. That we call as a homogeneous mixtures and heterogeneous. The mixture which forms a single phase, that we call as homogeneous. A mixture which forms a 2 or more phases, that we call as a heterogeneous mixture. Then comes the pure substances. The pure substance again classified into two types. That is elements and the compounds. Elements means which contains only one kind of atoms, that we call as an element. Example for the element is gold, silver, copper, iron, like this example for the elements. Then compounds. The compounds means the compounds are formed by when two or more elements combines in a definite ratio. Definite ratio, that we call as a compounds. Can be mainly separated by some. These elements are be separated by some chemical methods, not easily. But in the mixtures, some physical methods, by using some physical methods, we can be, that is separated. Means evaporation, distillation, then filtration. Like this, by using some simple methods, we can be separate the mixtures. But the compounds, these elements from the compound can be separated by some chemical methods. This about the today's class.